A warm hello to everybody. Good to see you, all of you out here. And thank you so much for joining in with us today. Today, we are going to talk about a very, very important topic, a topic which is very close to my heart. We will have a conversation on education systems, and how it impacts us. Let me introduce myself. I am Tanaya. I work in the field of human resources or people sciences, currently focused on the learning and development part of it. Education is at the core of human society. And if you ask me, right, uh, education, I believe, is a process which makes me a better version of my own self. But I think it is very important for us to analyze. It's very important for us to understand the ways and means in which education is currently being imparted, the ways and means in which education is currently being consumed, or should I say, imbibed, and to really think through and discuss whether the current system really needs a relook, or so to say, whether the current systems need a refresh. With me today, I have Mr. Shubhrajit Sharma, and he has been in the field of education for quite some time now, I think more than 2 decades. He's a teacher of maths, but then when I call him a teacher, he gets upset because he feels he is a student, he is a learner of maths. So, without much ado, let me welcome you, sir, Shubhrajit, sir, uh, in this conversation today. And we are looking forward to have an engaging and enriching conversation with you on this topic today. Warm welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
So, I will not really get into too much of an introduction here. I would jump straight to the topic. To start with, sir, I would like to understand from you, what do you believe is the true objective of education and education system?
yeah. True objective of education, if I need to say, and before that, you have introduced me as someone who is a learner of mathematics. Yeah, in essence, all of us we are eternal learners of life, right? Life and its principles, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
and you are from the field of IT, right? So,
Yes.
field of IT. Now, my way of looking at IT is slightly different from many others, perhaps. Uh, People from your fraternity look at IT as information technology, but the way I look at it is inner transformation. And I
Oh
think
my
that
God.
answers part of your question, what is the purpose of education? Yeah, the singular purpose is inner transformation. And
Sure.
this is just one part of the answer, and some other parts of the answer is hidden in your question itself. The way you have presented the question in such with such an eloquence. Yeah, in when you talk of computers and files and all, there is one file extension, DLL. I don't know what is the full form of this DLL. Now, coming to mathematics, I have my own principle of mathematics, DLL, doing, loving, and learning. So this applies to life also. Uh, Whatever you want to learn, you start doing it
Okay.
without bothering much about understanding things. So just do it for the sake of doing, but while doing, throw yourself totally into it with complete devotion, with full involvement, 100% involvement. Mathematically, you can never give more than 100% anywhere. So with your 100% involvement, you do things, then you'll start loving your job, and then you'll learn from that.
Sure.
So that is the purpose of education. And next part of your question was about education system or rather systems. Yeah, this
Right.
is a very wide topic and very important topic. Me being in the field of education for past 26 years to be precise, uh, more than half of my life. Yes, double of 26 is 52. I am yet to touch that number. So more than half of my life I have been in this education out of choice, not out of
Okay.
compulsion, right? And why I'm saying this, uh, this I'm saying with a deep level of pain in me when I look at the scenario in the field of education, mainly in school education, and not mainly in school education, everywhere at higher level also. And when I talk about this, not only in India, I am talking of a wider perspective, the global perspective. The
Right.
thing is very, very pathetic in the sense. I think you understand what I mean. Mostly people who don't get to do anything anywhere else come to this field called education and see if I have half baked knowledge and I come to the field of education, what I can impart to my students. One ignorant can spread ignorance, nothing more than that. And when we talk of teacher, uh, in our Indian system way of looking at life, we call as guru, who is supposed to show light to the mass. Now, if the guru, branded guru himself or herself is in darkness, what light he or she can show? So this is very important. The system of education, yeah. So I am connected with some international curriculum also. So some of those are little better than some of our Indian curricula. That I must say. And what they have taken up is some of our own wisdom, Indian wisdom. They have branded it, packed it. Like if I talk in particular about International Baccalaureate, which is being run by International Baccalaureate Organization Geneva, Switzerland, it is one of the top level course uh, for school students from right from primary to higher secondary. Grade 11
Sure.
and 12, they call it as IBDP, IB Diploma Program. Yeah, so number 10, they have listed down 10 learner profiles. Now, these profiles, I'll not name all of this. Like a learner has to be balanced, has to be a risk taker. These are the things. Has to have
Sure. Understand.
open mindedness. Okay, so at the end of the course, what will be seen in the learner is how many of these attributes have become a reality in the life of the learner. And this is
Understand.
precisely what our system of education also was. But somewhere along the line, in yeah, I won't mind speaking the truth because where it is going live right now, that name of the page itself is Pursuit of Truth. So I should not hide what I know to be true. So during the British era, it has been ruined. Our system of education, Indian system of education, because Britishers came with a singular motive of doing trade and commerce, right? Trade and commerce to make money out of this. Uh, anyway, this is another discussion. We can have
Sure.
another discussion only on this.
Sure.
So they wanted to make only clerks, and for that, whatever minimum English knowledge of English they had to give, they gave that, right? But and Britishers stayed for over 200 years, and they have cut in a systematic way. They have cut ourselves from our roots, cut ourselves from our originality.
Understand.
We have to
Understand.
remember that. So it's a very wider topic. I don't think I'll go on and on a singular question because
Absolutely.
we have some
So
more
that's
questions.
okay. That's okay, sir. So what I gather out of what you just talked about is you talked about the inner transformation part of it. You talked about how you link it to doing, learning, and loving the subject. Then you also talked about how the state of current education system is, because teachers who are at the very core or at the center of the education, the field of education. You talked about if they are in darkness, how they can show light
Yeah.
to the students. You talked about that, and then at the end, you touched upon the international ITBP, I think, the curriculum, wherein which focuses on a competency-based learning model, wherein you create learner profiles and you try to understand. Okay, these are certain attributes which I want to see in a person, and how through my education I'm able to develop and at the end maybe see those attributes or competencies coming in a particular student. So got that. So I think from whatever you thought, I thought my next question would be: do you feel that our education system have been able to fulfill the objective, the true objective of education? But with whatever you told me now, I know it. The answer might be in the negative, but I would let you comment on the same.
Yeah, now when you say our education system, now would you like to get the answer from me, but me being a Bharatwasi or as a global citizen?
I think you should give me, both the aspects. One, obviously, from the global context, and also a little about the current state of, Indian education system.
Okay, so let me take an inside out approach. First, about the home front, yeah, it's a very, not a very bright picture, not a very bright picture, but slowly it is changing. Slowly it is changing. We are in small pockets. We are becoming active and connecting to our roots. I'm talking of India. You understand that? Uh, Yoga has become a compulsory subject, but that yoga, I must say, this is the beginning. What we have made global on 21st of June since 2015, it is just one aspect of yoga. Now, this
Right.
is a good beginning. So that makes me and people like me hopeful, right? So, see, we cannot do big things, and actually, we don't need to do big things. We need to do small little things, and those small little things will connect together or accumulate together to give big result. Now, when I was talking about inner transformation, the thing is very simple. One transformed individual can make a transformed family, right? What is family after all?
Absolutely.
Collection of few people staying together. So if all of them become individually transformed, the family will be transformed. And collection of few transformed families will make a transformed society, right? Uh,
Right.
Correct me if anywhere you feel that
No,
I'm
no,
going,
absolutely.
right? And transform societies will make a transformed nation, and transformed nations will make a transformed world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It definitely, starts from a single individual, goes up to a family, and then maybe to the community and the world at large. I don't know if I have lost you, sir, or is it a network issue at my end? Let me just check out. So I think we have lost the connection with sir. For him to come back.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, I think what he was trying to speak about is how one leads to the other. For example, if I as an individual get transformed through a proper education system, how I will be able to inculcate the same in my family, and people in the family go across, spread the same thing in the society, and at the end, the community at large becomes transformed. I think that is what he was trying to hint at.
yeah.
Let's wait for him to come back.
Just 1 second. While ago
Sure, sure.
you said something. If I got you right, I as an individual get transferred. You said first, then you said
Trans-
transform. Now
transformed, yes.
no, that transferred, was it by mistake or it just came out like that? No, what I'm saying.
No, no. It was I was trying to say transformed, and then I think
No,
I picked up the wrong word.
when you say, if you had said transferred, that also has a deep meaning in this. Actually, if we follow this sequence, then actually we'll get transferred from the state of hell we are in to a heavenly state.
That is there, but I'm not able to see you on screen for some reason.
Uh, where is
I'm
it?
seeing only myself, and I think that's what the viewers are also currently viewing. I'm not able to see you, sir.
Amen. No, but it is showing both of us, right?
Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
I'm there, right? So there is a time lag, maybe. Yeah.
So I would also like to take through this particular chain of thought, and you were also talking about how yoga has got introduced in the current education system, and how maybe this is one of the ways in which we are going ahead, getting connected with the roots. You may also like to throw some light on how you have seen the education system evolve over the years, because when I now my kid goes to the kindergarten now, so it's just at the beginning of the education. But when I sit with her and do those small activities, be it coloring, be it modeling, be it the storytelling, I somehow feel that education definitely has evolved, because I was not doing all those things. I was just maybe learning a few rhymes, or mugging up ABCD and saying A for apple, B for ball. But now that she is in the same state, and I do a lot of work which is activity based, showing the practical aspects of it. I think, though maybe it's too early to comment, but I see that obviously some changes happen from the way I learned things, and from the way now the current education system is making her learn things. So I would like, you are a teacher and you have been in the education system for quite some time. You are a parent yourself. So I just want to understand from you what is the kind of evolution which you have seen over the years, and
Yeah.
what is probably the positive, or what is the negative, or what is something which you like, not like about the entire evolution process.
Yeah, you are right in your observation. It has evolved a lot in the primary level because so much of research is going on all over the world, right? And some of the research findings, some of those are finding implementation at ground level, right? So this activity-based learning is something which is so essential, not necessarily only on primary level, at every level, right? Now what happens at primary level, it is, I can see a bright picture actually, because my two kids are also in primary section. So the way they are learning with total openness about things and collaboration of different subjects, it's wonderful actually. But when it comes to middle school somewhere we get grade, uh, what our present system of education is producing after grade 10 or after grade 12 or even after college, uh, is making me as an activist. So activism has become more important than activity. I understand. I feel. I think you understand what I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
right?
no, no, I just want to know some more about it. Why do you say that activism has become more important than activity?
Education system is teaching us that. In I won't name the institutions. I hope you'll understand my silence. Uh, those parts I'll not utter the names straight away, but you can see the picture, right? Every move of if I talk of the present political scenario of our country, for an example, right? Every move of the current political dispensation is being opposed by a group of people, and if you study deeply about those group of people, you will find some common connection. They are from some selected institutions. So the kind of education they are imparted, they are fed with is to go anti-establishment, oppose every move without judging. Your only job is to oppose the move of the government, to find faults with everyone, right? So that is
Sure.
what I mean by saying activism. Rather than doing that, if I can do a small piece of activity which can affect just another person in a positive way, so that is the true sign of me being educated, right?
Sure. Absolutely. So, if I see the education system currently, and you also mentioned about, how when the British came in, the motive with which they were looking at education was to how to create more clerks. And even if I, look at the current education system also, what I see is that we are, in the mad race of job creation. So we are creating, people, we are creating lawyers, we are creating accountants, we are creating doctors, we are creating engineers. various other. I mean, I'm just naming few professions which immediately come to mind. But it seems like the entire objective of education is to create people who fits into a certain kind of jobs and to serve the social structures which are there in place. So I myself, become a little, confused when I think of this, because, somewhere obviously, those roles should be there in the society. Otherwise, how will the society learn? How will the society run? How will the society function? You need those professions. You need those roles in the society.
Yeah.
But at the same time, somehow, I also keep on asking myself whether it is the right way to do, whether it is the only way to go about education. So, what is your thoughts there, sir?
Yeah, of course, it is not the only way, and it is not the right way also. And as you said, it is important. We need to have professions, all professions we need to have in a society, right? So, what we are producing in the form of young pass outs, college pass outs, are some professionals who will fulfill our material needs. Yeah, material needs are important, but human beings have far higher needs. Material needs can be fulfilled anyway, right? So, see, I divide the society into four categories.
Okay.
Uh, People around the world, the humanity into
Okay.
four classes. Class one, first type,
Mm.
not in any particular sequence. You make your sequence. I
Now I'm just making notes as well, because sometimes my memory fails me. So as you were talking, if at all I'm making notes as well.
Yeah. So, type one is those people for whom stomach full, life is cool. They are not
Okay.
bothered about whatever is happening around them, right? For them,
Mm.
their only motive is earn money, have pizza, pasta. Okay, I'm not disregarding pizza, pasta. Okay, once in a while, I also like that. So this is type one.
Absolutely.
Type two, who get disturbed by all the social nonsense or nuisance, rather, but
Okay.
they don't know the way how to bring about a positive change. This is type two. Type
Okay.
type three, they also get bothered, and they know certain ways to bring positive changes, but because of their laziness or whatever reason, they don't do what they can do. So you got the three types.
Okay.
And type 4 is a very type 4 is a minority who get disturbed, who know the way and who go the way to bring positive change. So
Mm.
these are the four categories. Now, me as an individual, I have to judge for myself. I want to belong to which of these four categories. And if I am a sane human being, I'll make the right choice. I think you got my
Sure.
point.
Sure, sure. I completely understand. So you are talking about different classes of workers, or different type of people who are in the society. So there are people who are lazy about everything. So for them, like it's happy go lucky as how it goes.
Yeah.
There are some people who get irritated with the kind of things happening around them. If something is not right, it bothers them. But at the same time, they don't know what to do about it. The third category is those people who know how to do it, but they don't want to work towards it, right? Lazy. And then obviously the fourth one, which is a very minuscule section of a society, who knows and who does also.
Yeah.
So good, and I think it's important that this part of the society wakes up and creates that chain of action going forward. So I will
But
come to my next question.
one sec before you ask me the next question, I want to ask you a quiz question. Those activists which I was talking about, those activists belong to which of the four categories? What is your
Uh,
understanding?
I think it is the third category. Because,
Yeah,
huh?
don't do, right?
Yeah, so I know what needs to be done, but I don't know. They're dangerous to the society, I would
Yeah.
say.
They are, what you say just now?
I said they're dangerous to the society, I would
Yeah,
say.
I have a terminology for them. Uh, H HHF or something, harmful for humanity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fine. But what we got out of the conversation till now is that though job creation is important, but at the same time, the true objective of education is to uh, the inner transformation which talked about. And if you look at Swami Vivekananda himself told that education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. That means we all are born with immense possibilities. We have it in us, right? And in our religious scriptures, and especially I'm talking about the Indian religious scriptures, we say Aham Brahmashmi, I'm the absolute. But I really do not have the realization of that. I have not realized my true potential. Now, to come to my true potential, to come at the maximum of what I am capable of, is what education should bring me to, right? So I think if I look at education, and I'm just kind of relating to what you are saying, is maybe the true objective of education, and currently what we're seeing in the society, everything is kind of half baked. We are not able to come to our true full potential. That inner transformation is not happening, and we are just maybe creating what to say, creating cogs in this entire machinery that is running and feeding the economy. I think yeah, go ahead.
No, you took the name of Swami Vivekananda, the most prominent modern yogi, universal yogi,
Absolutely.
global yogi. Now, this reminds me of something. Uh, now, see, shall I tell you a bare truth? It's very harsh, actually. No character building can happen in schools and colleges. I'll repeat, no character building can happen in schools and colleges. And in this connection, why this cannot happen? My guru says something like this: a characterless teacher is student's life sucker. He said in Bangla. I try to translate that in English. If I have no character, what can I give to my students? So character building is the main thing, and that can happen only at home. My guru further says that no matter what you learn in schools and colleges, if proper education is not imparted at home, character won't be built. Now, in this connection, if I can go to Swami Vivekananda, he also said a harsh truth. He said, looking at the present day Indians, that's on the that our present day Indians are very good at producing children, but totally ignorant about how to bring up the children. So, how true it is. So, it is my responsibility to bring up my child as a true human being. But if I don't have that skill, now it is little light humor maybe, but it hides the truth in it that before I was married, I had five theories about how to bring up a child. And after marriage, I have 5 children, but no theory works. So this is true.
Absolutely. And I think, the primary stage, and I think the age of 5 to 10 in a kid's life is very, very important in terms of where you really have to impart that education, value based education, hands on. To the child, and that is very, very important because at that time a child is in the form of like a clay. You can mold it in a particular way, but once that age is over, it's very, very difficult to do that molding, melting, whatever you want to do about it. So that's very important. Another thing, and that brings me to the last question. And I believe that this is a very important thing to understand, to analyze. If we look at the current education system, and I would say we have also been ourselves victims of it, or we have been the part of the problem ourselves. I don't want to blame anybody else. I would want to, because I myself am a part of this problem. We see a lot of stress. Okay, we see a lot of fear in so far as learning is concerned, education is concerned, and we faced it ourselves, right? How do you top in your class? how do you really get 10 marks more than the other person in your class? Or if you're not able to maybe get what you think you should in the form of marks, there are cases wherein people are taking the extreme step of going and killing their own selves, which is very very extreme, and we are seeing that increasingly. So if I look at learning, right, and after having come at least to this stage in my life, see, learning is joy. Okay, when you really, and you talked about is right, doing, learning and loving,
Yeah.
right? So where there is love, DLL you mentioned, right? So the data linked library in the IT context, you moved it to doing learning and loving. So, and where there is love, right? Obviously, there is joy. So, learning is always joy. It should be that way. It is joy. So, how do we really bring that joy back in our education system so that when I learn, I am so eager to learn? I learn out of curiosity. I learn out of my need to learn. I learn to maybe a better version of myself, to be a better version of myself. I don't want to be stressful. I don't want to be fearful. I don't really want to get bothered about the marks or what the society thinks about my learning. So, how do we bring that joy back in our education system?
Yeah, so this was your last question. Yeah, it's better we retire before we get tired, right? Yeah. So
I am not doing quite well. Also, you can see that on my face.
yeah. So to that single word joy, very simple. To be joyful, we have to be in association of a joyful being, right? And going back to one of your words, when you refer to a child as a clay, like a clay, yeah, a clay pot, right? A clay pot, when it is made, it is soft, right? Now, can that pot hold water? It can't hold water, right? If you pour water on it, it will melt. So you have to make it hard. And how do you do that? You do that by burning it, right? So when you burn the pot, it becomes hard. So what is the process of burning that? It has to go through fire, right? And similarly, a piece of iron, a metal bar. Now, a metal bar get transformed into a sword. What is the process? It is being heated, and when it is red hot, it is being hammered. So, same thing happens with human beings also. This is the principle of life. To transform yourself, you have to go through that stage, hammering, hitting. So you have to be ready for that. If you want an easy life, then you will be just born in this form and leave the planet in this form. You will not be able to realize your ultimate potential as a human being, the most evolved creation, right? So that process is called process of initiation. Initiation. You have to be with a true master. I changed my word, which was coming out. If I say under a true master, the so-called educated mass, they will have objection. They don't want to be under anything, right? So that's why I said with a true master, and that master you can consider as your partner, your friend, your lover, whatever. You need not necessarily consider yourself as a servant and that other evolved being as your master. You can set up any relationship. So this is the process, and there is no other way. As in Sanskrit, it is said, "Nanna pantha vidyate ayana." This is the way.
So if you can just tell that I am sorry, I don't know so much of Sanskrit. So if you can help me understand this shloka a little better. Sir, I think I'm losing you in the connection. So let me wait for you to come back. So I think if viewers are seeing me, let me try to summarize what we have understood so far. We could get a sense that the objective of education is transforming our inner self. We becoming better versions of our own selves, and I think I've mentioned it quite a few times today. And in the process, a teacher plays a huge, huge role. And so it is important for us to have teachers, the right gurus, who themselves are full of love and light and who can show us the light ahead. At the same time, we talked about how the current system of education is more about creating jobs. While this is important, but at the same time, the focus should be how we are able to create.
Yeah, we lost the connection for a while. We are back.
Yes, we lost it. I was just trying to summarize, in the interest of time and in the interest of people who are seeing us. I just want, was summarizing what we have learned so far. So you may like to, continue with what the flow of thoughts was there in your mind.
Yeah, I was talking about the clay pot, right? So this is a scientific process, right? It has to be hardened, and similarly with bricks also, bricks that we use for making walls, right? So we have to go through that tough time. So if we want a goody goody life, puchi puchi life, then we cannot become strong, and we cannot be useful for the society in any way, human society, right? And coming to this stress, yes, very important. So these days there are stress management programs, mainly in IT sector, and I know how stressful your life is. And stress naturally brings in a lot of strain. And what happens in life is something which is against nature. Your stress gets multiplied by your strain and makes life real hell. But you are an engineering graduate, you know law of nature. If you divide stress by strain rather than multiply, so when you divide stress divided by strain is Young's modulus of elasticity, right?
Elasticity,
Yeah,
elasticity constant.
yeah. So this hides a deep insight, means true wisdom. So stress divided by strain
Sure.
is Young's modulus. So we'll be ever young. So it's up to us how we look at life. And is there any time to take up some questions? We have one question is very interesting. I can see this. Yeah. Can you see on your panel?
Sure. Let's take it up. I am not able to see it as of now.
Yeah, right. Now we can see, right?
What is the difference between getting educated and being knowledgeable? Job creation is the priority of creating knowledge base. What is the benefit of knowledge base if it is not linked to jobs? You may like to take it.
Okay, so see here, no one is between you and me. No one is sitting as an expert. So I think both of us will give our view on this. Who will go first?
You go ahead, please.
Uh, yeah, it says, what's the difference between getting educated and being knowledgeable? Yeah, being knowledgeable. Okay, this is also a relative term. What I mean by what is my understanding of knowledge? Now, from my experience, by being in the field of education for quite some time now, almost 3 decades, I'm not talking of young learners. I'm talking of matured learners also, those who are supposedly matured, but very unfortunate that for many of those people, there is not much difference between information and knowledge. They don't have the understanding of the difference between information and knowledge. But these are two different things, right? You what you gather from outside is just information or some informations that you have to process. It has to go through the processor, and then after the processing it can become your knowledge, right? So information what you collect, that is not knowledge, right? Today, like COVID-19, how many new cases came up today? So that cannot be a knowledge, that is just an information. So first we have to understand the difference between information and knowledge, and then education. Again, knowledge and education is also not same. So education is much deeper than knowledge. And I'd like to bring another word, wisdom. So education
And
is are two terms very close to each other, right? A truly educated being will be a wise being, wise person. And when I talk of wisdom, a very simple example, but not silly, right? Uh, I know tomato. Tomato is a fruit. This is a knowledge for me, right? You got it? Tomato is a fruit. This is a
yeah, yeah.
knowledge. This is a knowledge for me. But I should not put tomato in fruit salad. That is my wisdom.
Hmm. Sure. And I would maybe, like to add on to this particular question.
Yeah.
So we live in a society, and obviously, jobs have to be there. We have our roles. But what happens is when education is just for mere fitment into jobs, is what we are seeing today. So considering the current situation, see, doctors are not reporting to work. Okay, so if education has been in the truest sense of the term, we would have seen they fighting at the front line, like some of them are doing. So when my education is the truest sense of the term, I'm true to the job which I'm doing. For example, if I'm an engineer and something goes, and I see it in my life, something goes, say, electricity has just gone in my home, has gone off, or there is a problem in the water tank. I'm an engineer, so what I do, I will go, I'm not able to get anything out of it, any head and tail out of it. Okay, so I rely on people around me, say the plumber or whatever, and whatever they say, half of the things I don't understand. Okay, so I think whatever I have learned is the practical implementation part of it is not happening.
Yes.
And that is why, even if I maybe from a job perspective I've got and just fit in there, I'm not being able to being true to my job. So we are not seeing a lot of inventions happening, and had education served that purpose, maybe a vaccine of coronavirus would have been available by now,
Yes.
right? Or something would have been created. So I feel while job creation should be there, but when it is an inner transformation, or when the education is in the truest form of the term, I become true to what I have learned. And it is not like that I've mugged up something, and it is just like I've cleared my exam, I've got those marks, and I'm doing a particular job. It becomes far more valuable, and it contributes back to the society. So
Yeah.
I think that would be my perspective on the question.
Yeah. And say, if education makes me into a mere M3, M3 is money making machine, then that is not true education, right? True education should make me a better human being, that I'll have a heart to think for others, right?
Absolutely. And how many times we see that? Say we
Yeah.
are driving on the road, somebody comes and hits us. Okay?
Yes.
We just lose ourselves. We go and hit back in the filthiest language possible to the other guy. So is it my education? Is it what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
So
Is
I
this
think those are
education?
the subtle differences. And even forget about outside. In our homes currently, we are fighting. We are fighting with our spouses. The little kid is seeing there. Okay, what mama papa is doing. So while we might be, in glorious positions in the society, we might be doing, high-fi jobs. But the moment a person is saying that, okay, maybe today you have not cooked as per taste, I feel angry. How come you can say me that? You know. So I think those are the subtle things in how we work with people around us. Forget about the society, in our family. And once we all reflect, right, even the speaker, even the person who has asked the question, and that we are answering the question. See, when we reflect ourselves, we will find that answer, that while we might be in glorious positions in our jobs, and people might be thinking, okay, this person is really educated, but what I'm doing about myself, what I'm doing about my life, how I am behaving with my spouse, how I'm behaving with my kid. So this is my education, which comes in the true sense of the term. And I think once that education is bringing in that inner transformation in me, it will become all the more beautiful. I myself will become so beautiful in my conduct, and and then that part of being, saying that, okay, I am absolute, I am the part of the universal soul, all those things will make sense to me. Otherwise it is just absurd.
Yeah. We need to practice before we teach, right?
Sure.
And we need to
So I
preach
think,
before practice. Just one,
absolutely.
like if I may tell you a small story, it will take few seconds. We need to spoke about that. I'm driving my vehicle and something happens. Then I come out. and show my rough side. Very recently, it happened 2 years back, right? You know where I work, right, and what responsibility I have. So we organized pizza party for the students. So one evening, I took two of my students and I drove to nearby pizza Domino's and got my vehicle was full of Domino's. So I had to take a turn. So while taking the turn, it was around 9:30 or 9:45 to decide at night. So I took left turn, and on straight road, another vehicle was coming, and that banged on me on side. Right now, okay, if I say that banged on me, the other person will have another version. That person will say that I banged on you. Anyway, so I stopped. Two students were sitting with me on the back seat. The other vehicle stopped after a few meters, and it stopped. I also stopped, and one lady came out of this. So I thought, I was convinced that it was not my fault. So I thought that the lady is coming close to me to say sorry or something like that. But when she came close to me, I saw a different kind of expression on her face. Then she started shouting, "Are you drunk?" That was the first question. I said in my own style, yeah, not drunk, but intoxicated. I don't know what meaning she could make out of this. And remember, two students were uh, behind me, right? So they were observing, and I have to show them, right? So not by doing any drama or anything, what I am, that will show up, right? So I had a smile on my face, and that made the lady even more irritated. Now she directed her husband, take a picture of this number plate. We'll go to court. Take and don't you know I'm carrying a kid in my vehicle? And then one of my students, he was in grade 12 at that time. Both of them were. He said like not very loudly. He said, "But we are also kids, and we are carrying kids for food for 100 kids." So we made it live. So this is just one real life example. So we get such testing moment to show how human we are, right?
Absolutely.
So
So let us end on that note. And I think we have overshot the time which we had estimated. And so to end it all, thank you, sir, for enlightening us. It was a good conversation. I personally learned a lot.
yeah,
And so, as we end, I think one appeal which I would love to make to my viewers is that let's begin with our own selves, right? It is very easy to really find faults and with the particular education system or teachers or people around us. But let's begin with us. Let's try to discover the joy in learning. Let's start with us, the way maybe some of us are parents, the way we deal with our kids. So let us start with ourselves and see what change we can bring about in the field of education. So wish you lots of learning, wish you lots of joy in learning. And on that note, let me sign off. Thank you so much for being with us today, and really appreciate you being with us. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
but thank you.